March 4th, 2019. A pair of F-18s are out on a training mission over the Atlantic Ocean, just a few hundred miles off the northeast coast of the United States. The men are on high alert, not just because of their training mission, but because, since at least as far back as 2014, pilots have been reporting strange phenomena over the airspace simply known as W-72, located just off the coasts of southern Virginia and North Carolina. Today, one of the F-18s will not only encounter this phenomenon, but document it. Flying at several thousand feet, the F-18 weapons system officer spots 3 objects he believes are drones. Flying in for a closer look, he's startled to discover that these objects are like nothing he's ever seen before. At 2:44 p.m. Eastern Time, the F-18's Wizzo takes out his smartphone and snaps a photo of a spherical object flying close to his aircraft. At 3:02, the plane runs across a second mysterious object, this time dubbed the Acorn. Then, 12 minutes after contact with the second UFO, the F-18 comes across yet a third object, this time nicknamed the Blimp. The photos are submitted to the newly formed Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force and remain classified until 2 of them are leaked to the public. The photo of the sphere, however, remains classified until it was leaked to the public only recently. Perhaps most shocking of all, though, is that after decades of silence on the UFO matter, the Department of Defense is quick to admit that the photographs are real, though of what exactly, nobody knows. But that's far from the only UFO bombshell the Department of Defense would drop while you were busy worrying about the coronavirus. That same year, 2019, 4 months later, this time it's the Pacific coast. Destroyers USS Kidd, USS Rafael Peralta, and USS John Finn are out on exercises 100 miles off the LA coast. In order to prevent being snooped on by curious civilians and foreign intelligence services, the destroyers are operating under strict radio silence. Suddenly at 10 p.m., a lookout on the USS Kidd spots what he identifies as 2 drones approaching the ship. 10 minutes later, both the USS Rafael Peralta and the USS John Finn report their own sightings. As the ships continue on their course, the drones seem drawn to the Kidd and even match its speed and bearing. One drone moves in close enough to hover over the helicopter pad briefly, then returns to formation. After 90 minutes, the drones speed off, and despite some of the best sensor technology on the planet packed into 3 ships, none of the ships are able to determine where the drones departed to. The next night, the drones would return. The drones once more follow the warships, and out of desperation, one of the destroyers radios a nearby Carnival cruise liner and asks for visual confirmation of the drones. The cruise liner confirms they too can see 4 or 5 drones following the big destroyers around and attests that the drones are not being flown by any of their passengers. Not that it was even a remotely realistic possibility anyway, as the drones linger for 3 hours, well past the flight time of any civilian or military drone of similar size. Once more, the drones disappear, unable to be tracked to wherever their destination lay. As if that wasn't enough, on the 25th and 30th of July, more drones fly around the Navy destroyers, and that's only the incidents that a recent Freedom of Information Act request discovered. There could have easily been dozens more incidents. However, at least one of these incidents was documented on camera, and the footage was not just released to the public but confirmed as authentic by the Pentagon. The date? Classified. The location? Classified. Personnel involved? Classified. Phenomenon captured? Classified. All we do know about this latest leaked video is that it was shot on the USS Russell using night vision equipment and submitted to the Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Congressional Task Force, where it was subsequently leaked to the public just this year. The video has clearly been edited and is extremely short, but what was leaked to the public includes several glowing orbs over the USS Russell, followed by a pyramid-shaped UFO that seems to flash with lights as it silently glides overhead. What it was remains unknown, and the rest of the footage showing what happened before and after the clip shown also remains classified. What is clear is that American naval ships and aircraft are being very closely observed by someone or something, and leaked photos from the USS Omaha appear to show that these crafts are not like any known aircraft today. The date and location also remains unknown, the government keeping its secrets very close to its chest. In fact, the only details known about the Omaha incident is that a UFO was observed near the ship, and after an unknown amount of time descended into the ocean. The ship immediately started a search for wreckage but found nothing, leading investigators to believe that the craft seen in the footage was a transmedium craft, or a craft capable of operating in the medium of the sky and ocean on the same mission, perhaps even space. But what exactly it was remains completely unknown. What is interesting, however, is that recently patents filed by the US Navy included a patent for exactly such a transmedium craft of their own. Dubbed the UFO patents, the technology included seemed so preposterous to the US Patent Office's science advisors that the patents were initially denied, until the US Navy stepped in and flexed its muscles to insist they be granted. Department of Defense insiders remain silent on UFO phenomenon that's clearly increasing in activity over the last few years. What's clear is that whatever these craft are, they're far outside the realm of civilian aircraft, meaning that these are either high-tech spy drones used to spy on American ships and planes, or they might be, after all, otherworldly. As we move towards a public hearing on the U.S. Senate on the UFO phenomenon from the Department of Defense this summer, all we can do is speculate. Now go check out why Pentagon is releasing UFO info in 6 months, or click this other video instead.